Let me make something clear before this video begins. No, I'm not talking about school cheaters. I'm talking about relationship cheaters. Completely different thing. I've never personally been cheated on, and I've never ever had the desire to cheat on my significant other, and I will never understand why people think this is an acceptable thing. Nowadays, in this new young generation of the internet, I'm constantly seeing memes on Twitter about cheating, how it's acceptable and how it should be justifiable. People using excuses like, sometimes I just need more than they can offer, usually referring to the bedroom, or there's just implications and stuff that happens in relationships. What kind of excuse is that, man? Like, what the is wrong with y'all? Let's go ahead and break down some real life excuses that friends of mine and my current boyfriend have all heard from their exes. I want all of you to hear how dumb this is and not grow up to be like these people. From one of my friends, he said his ex said it was a moment of weakness and she was drunk and she just really wanted it. But I don't think that being drunk matters, because no matter what state of mind you're in, your desires are your desires. His words. Now, let's break this down. First of all, a moment of weakness. What kind of weak excuse is that? I'm sorry, but if you're having moments of weakness in anything, you need to reevaluate your entire life and your goals. It's like, oh yeah, well, I was going to do my taxes, but I had a moment of weakness. You can't just do that. That's not a valid excuse and you won't get a pass. If you're being weak, you're too weak to be in a relationship. Number 2, she was drunk. Again, not an excuse. If you're drunk, take your butt home. Anyway, your drunkenness just shows your true self. You can't keep hidden once the booze kicks in, so she obviously wasn't faithful and didn't want to be. 3rd, she wanted to. That isn't even trying to be an excuse. I'm not gonna touch that. Poor guy got more too. Didn't mean anything. You let him hit. It meant something, honey. It was a short-term thing. Doesn't matter. If you commit to someone, you commit. Relationship wasn't serious. Regardless if it's serious or not, you're hanging out with this person and they obviously have feelings for you. So if you want to mess around with someone, just leave them and do whatever you want instead of keeping them around just in case. They were coaxed by the person. Sis, you can't get coaxed into sex. You either agree or it's illegal. I see that they didn't matter to me though. Excuse everywhere. My boyfriend got a bunch of excuses from his exes too. It didn't mean anything. Again, if it didn't matter, why do it? It obviously mattered because you went through with the entire process. I thought about you the entire time. Now what kind of backwards excuse is that? If you were thinking about them the entire time, you wouldn't have done it? A normal human would have felt way too much guilt. And that is just frankly insulting the person you were cheating on by saying, oh well, as I was getting down by some random dude, I totally thought about you. What? I couldn't stop thinking about you. Same reasoning as the entire time excuse. Not an excuse, you just sound like an idiot. It just happened, I'm sorry. Not an excuse or a valid apology. Stuff doesn't just happen. You can't just steal. Oh, officer, it just happened, I'm so sorry. I shot a man and stole his plasma TV. It doesn't just happen. You made the choice to do that. I needed to know how it felt, and now I know I like you. Now what kind of fucking excuse is this? This is so dumb. Why do you need to sleep with someone to know that you like someone else? What? Oh my god, this one, I just can't wrap my head around how stupid it is. I need some to make a decision whether or not I like you. What? God, it comes down to this. If they didn't matter, why'd you let them hit? You went through the entire process of them courting you at whatever bar or sleazy club you were at. You let them come home with you. You let them into your bed. If they didn't matter, then you wouldn't have gone through that entire process. Now, of course, these excuses are not the reasons. There's always reasons. Now, none of the reasons justify the means. If you don't like someone or you're not happy, you leave them or you talk about it. But allow me to enlighten you on some reasons I found in my research. One woman says her husband only had sex with her once a month and refused to be romantic. And she said divorce would have been bad for her kids. If you're not happy with someone, your kids can sense that. I grew up with dysfunctional parents that did not like each other at all. I could sense that. Reading this one, I'm just concerned for this woman as a person because this is so dumb. Allow me to read this full excerpt in its completion because this is one of the dumbest things I've ever read.
As someone who's cheated in every relationship I've been involved in, it's important for me to say I don't cheat because I'm unhappy. I'm actually very happy in my relationship. It sometimes feels like I'm not cheating on my boyfriend so much as I'm cheating with my boyfriend. I know this sounds like I'm deflecting blame. I know this is immoral and it's my fault. But the truth of the matter is, when I cheat, I'm solely satisfying my desires. I'm not spitting on him or getting back at him for something lacking in the relationship. I just want to do it, and so I do. It's blind egotism that allows me to put my feelings above his.
Now, what the Ooh, this makes me so angry. I'm not, girl, so you're telling me you're super selfish and you don't give a crap that if he found out he would be very hurt. So you're just like,
oh, I just really just want some right now, and I want the excitement, so I don't care about your feelings.
That makes me so angry. This is one of the stupidest things I've ever read in my life. I hope your boyfriend finds out, and I hope he leaves you, Laura, nurse 26. You, Laura. And another thing, these cheaters always hide their actions. You'll never catch one fessing up. You usually have to find out on your own. So if they didn't matter, why didn't you just fess up? You knew that was whack, so you hid it. An excuse I've seen a lot on Twitter is, you just don't understand the turmoils of a long-time relationship. I'm sorry, what? Bruv, if you're suffering from turmoils, from being with someone, leave them. If it's getting that bad that you think cheating is an option, they not only deserve better, but so do you if it's really that bad, which honestly I doubt it is. I've gotta say, it's usually guys saying stuff like that, older ones too. I understand females and males' drives are different, but are you really going to cheat on your wife of 10 years just because you need to bust? Which is more important, your wife or a nut? I will never understand the logic there. Someone you have devoted your life to, love, maybe, or a nut. The funny thing about all this is cheaters almost always try to blame their significant other. You weren't there for me. You didn't provide for me. You didn't put out for me. Relationships are about give and take. You give some, you lose some, in order to keep both of you happy. Yeah, sometimes they're too tired for a romp in the sheets, but that doesn't mean you should go out and cheat. It means you should talk about it. A lack of communication is almost always the cause of this stuff. Not all the time, but most. Most normal functioning humans' first resort is not cheating. It's just getting mad, and then it turns to cheating. But some go straight to cheating. But anyway, if you're feeling unhappy in your relationships, you have two options and only two. You talk about it, or you leave. Cheating is not a solution. It's not an option. It's not going to solve something. It's only going to make it worse. If you feel the need to go out with other people and do it with other people, then fine, but you have no right to do that while you are committed or claim you're committed to someone else. You leave them and then you can do whatever you want. The sickest to me is being with someone and saying you love them and then going and doing the unspeakable with someone else. What is wrong with you? It just makes me so angry. I've been reading up on the psychology of cheaters, and it usually stems from egos and insecurity. Cheaters think they deserve better, or they think they're entitled to it by whatever means necessary. And insecurity usually comes from females. Girls who hate themselves and they go to a bar, their boyfriend isn't around, and some dude saunters up and starts calling them beautiful, they think it's okay to sleep with him because they hate themselves. That doesn't make it okay. That's just how they justify it in their minds. In my research, most of the stories I were told were about girls cheating on guys. The stigma is boys cheat, but no. Based on what I've found, it's millennial girls that are constantly cheating on their SOs. Younger women are more likely to cheat on their boyfriends than their boyfriends are likely to cheat on them. But keep in mind, the stigma is only millennial women that are cheating more than men. As women grow older, they are less and less likely to cheat, and men are more and more likely to cheat as they get older and older. I don't know why this is. I believe it has something to do with the varying sex drives and how men are more likely to want and keep a sex drive as they get older, while women's drives tend to diminish as they get older. Keep in mind that a lot of my friends and I are in the millennial age group of 18 to 29, which has women that cheat 10% more than men do. So all of my research, all of my friends have dealt with cheating women more than I've had friends who have been cheated on by guys. We're just talking about my age group right now. Ladies, what the is wrong with you? If you're bored in your relationship or it's not fulfilling you, leave it. If you cheat, you don't love them, so don't try to tell me that you loved them but you needed excitement. You don't love them, period, point blank. Moral of the story is, leave your significant other if you feel the desire to cheat on them. Your excitement shouldn't come before someone else's feelings. They have devoted themselves to you and they deserve better. God, cheaters just make me so angry. I've got a lot more to say. I'd like to do a part 2 talking about guys' excuses for cheating, because the excuses in this video all came from young women who cheated on their boyfriends. Thoughts, am I right? And again, I want to say that I've never been cheated on. My boyfriend has never cheated on me. I just have heard secondhand stories from him and my friends, and it just makes me very angry, and so it made me passionate enough to make this video about it. And basically, my apartment charged me twice for rent and won't refund me. The full story is on my Instagram. If you want, there's new merch up. It would be great if you guys got some. It would really help me and the channel out. I also have commissions open. Information is on my Twitter and Instagram. Links in the description. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.